All right, well, good evening, everyone. It's Carolyn Rodriguez here, and I'm so excited to do this very intimate call for you, the movers and groovers who decided to show up. I know this call is recorded, but here's the thing, guys. I find that when I go and listen to a call in record time, I miss the chat feature. I miss the opportunity to ask questions that come up when I'm listening to a recorded call. So I want to commend those of you who jumped on here. I know some of you are on Zach's webinar. A lot of stuff happening tonight. So that's great, right? We have the opportunity to grow and learn. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So guys, tonight, if you would, when you do come on, Gwen, Carol, if you would mute your line, that would be awesome. Because we know people have dogs and husbands that bark. No, dogs that bark and husbands that are in the background. So, all right. So it's my privilege to introduce a friend, someone I admire, someone who is, I think she's exceptionally talented, and I've admired her from afar, but she may not even know that. So I've watched and listened to her on some of Susan's calls. So many of you tune into Susan's Momentum Monday calls at noon. You tune into her Tuesday, her Power Hour and her Momentum Tuesday calls, or whatever they are. So she's got calls on Monday and on Tuesday nights, and then during Grow Week, Susan kept talking about this, and she is just keep hammering home this idea of you got to learn leader in action. You got to get back to paid as executive, and everyone's like, okay, what is it? What's coming? And so all I know is when Susan is making a point about something, we better get our butts in gear and get on the bandwagon. Otherwise, we're behind the eighth ball. So I confess, I'm not up to speed on, I know, I know a little bit about getting to executive and being paid as executive. That's something that I have maintained over the last 17 and a half years. Leader in action, guys, I'll tell you, I haven't trained on it. I haven't talked about it. I haven't fully understood it. And so, hey, when I'm not doing it, I'm not teaching it. So when I heard Anne's story, Anne was interviewed by Susan, Anne and Jessica, just a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. I can't even remember the date, but I've listened to it a couple times. I thought, okay, let's invite somebody to the call to train who has done the homework and is doing the work and has achieved success. So these two key initiatives, leader in action and getting to executive and staying as executive, are going to be benchmarks for 2021. When's a good time to prepare? Right now. So I don't know about you guys, but I hope you guys have your sheet, because Susan talks about share the sheet. And I want to actually take a picture of everybody here. So if you haven't got your sheet, go get your sheet, because I will be taking a picture of this shortly. So I'm not multi-talented to do both. So we'll get you guys to do it, and then I'll take the picture. So we'll be sharing the sheet later on. So let me tell you about our guest trainer. Anne her background is in occupational therapy, and that means she must be one of those white people, because she's all about peace and calm, right? But there's some red in her too. Like, don't cross her, because that red will come out. And thanks to her blossoming Isagenix business, she was able to retire herself from her occupational therapy career. So she's been a recipient of the Women of Isagenix, an Derby Cruise Contest individual earner. So we have that in common. And she's a 3-star Golden Circle, which means she's earned a significant level of income. And she's going to weave that into her training about being an executive and why that's important to get to that level, right? Now, something about Anne that you may or may not know outside of Isagenix is that she is a volunteer president of the Vancouver Adaptive Snow Sports, which is a nonprofit that provides skiing and snowboarding to people with disabilities. So that tells me a lot about Anne and, you know, the white that I talked about, and her heart of service, right? She's also been a recipient of the British Columbia Community Achievement Award, which again talks about she's just not a one-trick pony, Isagenix, 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 right? So she has other interests outside of work. She loves to ski. I didn't know this. Motorcycle, kayaking. I know she likes to travel and hang out at her beautiful seaside home, which I can't wait to visit. She is a mother of 3 boys, and they are her why. She has revived her why in terms of building Isagenix. And without that, it's interesting that Emily Vavro was talking about her why. Very successful woman, started off by sleeping on a mattress. Now, and that's not Anne's story, but we all have our why, right? It's her family. So, Anne, I'm going to hand the call over to you basically to talk about, Leader in Action. Why Leader in Action? What is it? For those people who don't have the sheet, where can they find the sheet? And how can we utilize this, great initiative that Isagenix has put together? And what's in it for people for following Leader in Action? And of course, I know you'll transition into getting to executive and the perks of being executive. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anne Bethune.
Wow, Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. That was such a beautiful introduction. And I see some familiar faces. Hi, Teresa, my Mexico sister. And I've talked to Pat, and I know a few others, certainly by name. And it's a real honor to be asked to train on Carolyn's call, because likewise, Carolyn's one that I've just admired as a friend, and also in awe of how she just has mastered the stage. And I've watched her grow over the years. And we did the whole Amplified Master Trainer with David Wood together a few years ago and got to know each other. So this is an honor for me too. And the bigger honor, I suppose, is why I was asked to train. And that excites me hugely, because last year I really felt like my business was just not where I wanted it to be. And I think a lot of us felt that. How many people can relate to that? Or maybe you're feeling that now. And and I think that's normal for our businesses to go like this. And nobody ever tells us that. We just see the people, at the front of the room who are all, stars in their eyes and getting paid lots of money and stuff. But really, it's a journey. And that's okay. So if you just expect it to be a journey, then you know what, we'll not get too high about the highs and not too low about the lows. But frankly, having said that, I was a little bit low about my lows last year, primarily because I had a really, significant why. I am my sole breadwinner. I left a 20-year relationship about, gosh, time flies, 8-9 years ago now. And I basically started from ground zero. And I expected, and ask Carolyn, because she sees me mistakenly lining up in the 7-figure income earner lineup. Like, what do you mean? I'm not? No, you're not. Anyway, I had it in my head that that's where I wanted to be. And, it hasn't been this journey to stardom that I had hoped it would be and expected it to be. And nobody really painted the realistic vision for me. And nobody also painted, I think, the appreciation that you don't have to be a 5-star, 6-star, 7-star to make a really good income in Isagenix, and to appreciate residual income, that it keeps on coming, guys. Like during COVID, it kept on coming. But, again, having said that, at the beginning of COVID, and if you were on that Susan Sly call, I did share a little bit of my story, and I don't want to spend our whole call talking about that. But I do have a wonderful man in my life for 5 years now. I know Teresa will be, yay, excited about that. And he has a medical clinic and he closed it down, and we ended up going to his place on Salt Spring Island for like a weekend, and we ended up there. At that time, we didn't know how long, but we ended up there for over 9.5 weeks. Now, doesn't that sound like a dirty movie or something? And, you know, I said to him at the beginning of our kind of a weekend, I said, you know what, honey, I just feel it. I'm going to get really busy, and I'm going to spend this time wisely. I'm going to focus. And I really feel that I want this, and I have the skill. I just now have this, you know, kind of focused time, and this kind of, without saying opportunist around COVID, I really do think that we have a beautiful solution for people. And I think we all realize that and appreciate that. And I saw that. And with the grace of some of the trainers to help us navigate the wording around that and how to speak to people, I just got to work. Can I just share my screen for a moment? Because what I did is I took a little screenshot of my income graph. And I think it would be really cool to show you guys, because what I decided to do at that time is, at that time there was a crystal reset happening for all of us, right? So we could get each of the levels and get the bonus again. And it started in January. So I decided to go for it. So I think during that time, I hit the director, because that was around, I can't remember the exact dates now, but April, May, and then executive was, I don't know, was it May? Can't remember what it was. May, June-ish. So I have done the crystal reset before, but I've never made it back to executive. I've gone as far as director, but I'd never, you know, gone as far as executive. I just said, you know what, this is non-negotiable. I'm going to do this. And in the process, I'm going to get myself back to paid as executive, because that executive lifestyle bonus really excited me, and a few other perks that I'll talk about in a minute. But I just want to show you what happened to my income when I got back to paid as executive. Can you guys see that? Okay, well, so on the bottom,
we have this way.
What's that?
No, okay, I get it. Okay, so those are your months down here.
This is December, January, February, March, April. So this is the start, kind of March, April was start of COVID. Okay, then May, June. This is kind of when right around May is when I got back to paid as executive.
Wow.
Okay, so the graphs don't lie, the numbers don't lie. As Susan shares with us. So, you know, my income is kind of reflected and you know, almost doubled, getting back to paid as executive and getting into action with the leader in action. Okay, so I just thought I'd share that, because this is really visual. And if you don't track your own income in your back office and see this graph, it's kind of fun to look at it and know where you are. Is that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think so.
And I just wanted to stop you there, because a lot of people are doing like the day to day, and today may be good and tomorrow may not be good and the next day may not be good. But if you're not looking at the overall picture and tracking where you are, where you were, where you want to go, you have no idea if you're making progress, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that some of us are better at tracking like our numbers and graphing it, like Susan asked us to do, than others. I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at it, but it's in our back office in a big sense, right? So it's something that's I know I need to get better at is you know, absolutely tracking my numbers. But what I'm good at tracking the activities that get me into action, and I'm pretty organized and focused when it comes to, okay, what is my income producing activities, my IPAs, and that I'm very good at keeping track of. So today, you know, I'd love to make this more of a casual call, and feel free to just jump in, interrupt, and if you have any questions or comments or something that would be really helpful. Either put it in the chat or just come out and, yeah, I see, do you use Penny? Love the graph. Bam, what a great COVID story. Thanks, Pat, you're awesome. Thank you for the opportunity to be trained. Thank you, you're welcome. And did not know you're an OT, so grateful. So do I use Penny? I'm starting to. I don't use Penny as much as I should yet. I do check it on my phone. And I frankly just haven't had the time to really go on my computer and start inputting. And I'm really good at using Penny to remind me of people's auto ships and box opening and things like that. As far as my current leads, you know, I'm not so good at inputting them and using Penny as a suggested leads that basically they're going through your social media people. So I need to get better at using Penny, but I do use it. So yes, how's that for a half answer? Okay, so what I thought we'd do is go through, first of all, the Leader in Action worksheet and how that works. And so you all understand it. Then I thought I would explain in my enthusiastic words why getting back to paid as executive is so essential. And then I wrote down a few tips that I think are, I actually wrote them down for Susan's call, but I was reflecting on them and I thought they would be really helpful on a call like this, because this is more about how to do the do rather than just what the do is. I mean, the Leader in Action, yeah, we can talk about, you know, what it is and you can understand it, but that's not going to get your ass in gear just by understanding it. You know, you really got to dig into your why, but also have some, you know, daily habits and daily kind of methods of operation in your schedule so that you actually enjoy doing the do, right? And you can shift your, some of this for me is around mindset, and it's all stuff you've heard before, frankly. Like it's all stuff like recruiting yourself every single day, right? There's some days that I just didn't feel like being on calls, and I still don't. But I'm always grateful afterwards because usually I've made a really cool connection, or enrolled somebody, or inspired somebody, or they inspired me, and it was just, I'm grateful I did. But there are days that I just had to, you know, I'd rather been out for a nice hike in the sunshine or kayaking or whatever. It was starting to warm up and we were there. So how about I screen share again? How many people can honestly say, and no judgment here, that they understand the Leader in Action formula and are using it? Awesome, I got some co-trainers here. Fabulous. So what I thought I'd do, and the others, if you're not, how do you have at least your sheet printed out? Yeah. Awesome. And some, you know, don't, and that's okay. This isn't about shaming anybody. This is about education and learning. And usually if we're in overwhelm, then we're just, you know, not doing the do. And this, hopefully by the end of this call, it'll take the overwhelm out of this Leader in Action so that you will at least print it out and just kind of do it, even if it's zeros. Often we don't do things too because we're not getting enough feedback. And I know it's really fun when you have a booming month or a booming week and you can fill it out. But if you get a bunch of zeros, it's not that much fun. However, everything is going to be based on this Leader in Action formula, even more so coming up. So if you're really serious about your business, then just fill it in, put it on a text, photo, whatever, to whoever enrolled you on Monday. And really just do it, because zeros are fine. All my people are, we have a common messenger thread and they're sending me, you know, zeros, and that's okay. I just love that they're focused on it and doing it. And occasionally, you know what, some weeks we get an enrollment or rank advancement or something. So it's all good. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to just go to, where would I go, you guys? You can tell me. Where would I go to find the Leader in Action sheet? I can't see the chat well, so someone say it out loud.
There's a few places, but the latest one is actually on the David Wood training for week 1, right
Sweet.
under Emily's, it's got the leadership in action link there.
Okay.
And also the link to creating your why.
Great. So there's a number of places is what I'm hearing. So if you don't know where to find it, that might be why you're not going to get it.
Well,
You know what?
somebody, isagenixbusiness.com, because not everybody knows about David Wood's success training. And so those who are plugged in will see that there. The duplicatable place is isagenixbusiness.com.
Yeah. So this is where I'm at, isagenixbusiness.com. And frankly, if I'm looking for something and I need to find it quickly, I'll just do a Google search, Leader in Action, Isagenix, and then I find it takes me right to it at isagenixbusiness.com. So then I'm not having to spend time searching through here, and then you get down a rabbit hole. Oh, that's interesting. And then you never get to it. How many people have done that? Okay, so here's our Leader in Action. And it's based on this lovely formula that I think is fantastic, and they've changed it so that it's actually something that everybody, no matter what level you're at in Isagenix, can actually score points in, which is wonderful. So who can tell me, I'm just going to do a little, we have lots of people who kind of have mastered this. So who can tell me what 1 PE personal enrollment points means? We get points for that, don't we?
Yeah, that's your personal enrollments.
Perfect. So it's easy. Per your personal enrollments. Is there anything that has to happen about those personal enrollments? Can it be just any enrollment, or
They have to be 100 BV or more?
they have to be 100 BV or more? Right. So I've enrolled several people this week with just some shakes and other things, but they don't count towards my Leader in Action. But I'm still happy to enroll them because they may end up ordering more and becoming, who knows, business builders, but they're not going to count towards my Leader in Action. Okay, so what's a 2 PET enrollment?
That's when you're personally enrolled, has enrolled somebody.
Perfect. So PET is personally enrolled team. So it's when your person that you've enrolled has enrolled someone with at least 100 BV. Okay. And personally enrolled rank advancement points. Who can tell me, they're right here, who can tell me how many points we get for each rank advancement?
Okay, come on, you guys. Don't be shy. It's right there. You just have to read it out.
Yeah, somebody who maybe feels that they haven't mastered it, and they can look here and read it. And I'll even put the pointer here. Consultant.
Well, I know I'm working on helping team members get to consultant. So I know there's 2 points right there for every team member who does
Awesome.
rank. Yeah, that's
Who's
my
speaking?
focus.
I can't see.
It's
wait a
Pat.
minute. Hi, Pat.
Pat.
Okay, and then how many when you create or help someone become a manager?
It's right there on the screen, you guys.
Anybody? Who said that?
Teresa.
Teresa. Awesome. Okay, and how many points when you help someone become a director?
8.
8. And executive?
10. And
10.
so there are a couple of new people on the call, so I think if we clarify,
Oh,
and
sure.
guys,
What does
you
that
can-
mean?
Yeah, you can go in and look up ACMDE again, Google it, go to the Isagenix Vimeo channel. So consultant is when you find your 2 people, you and 2 people, managers when your 2 people find their 2 people, and director is 3 consultants on your left, 3 on your right, or all 6 consultants on your left, or all 6 consultants on your right. And executive has to be 5 and 5. 5 consultants on your left, 5 on your right? So we assume all of these things, but some of your people who may be listening to this recording, some new people who've joined, go and just Google these Isagenix ranks. Sorry.
Yeah, so if you're new, this is magic. What Carolyn just went through, really understand this and just memorize what a consultant is, what a manager is, what a director and what an executive is. what happened for me when I first started Isagenix, which was 13 years ago, I haven't really shared too much of my story, but some of it might come out. I just thought this was a shake selling situation. And actually I wasn't open for about 3 years. And it's a longer story, but I was not into network marketing, not open at all. And then I started to love the products, and I really haven't missed a day in 13 years, but I still thought initially that I could save the world with Isagenix because it was so amazing. And I had this fabulous product experience. And what I now realize that this is actually a leadership business. And what this little consultant, manager, director, executive, little road, it's road to executive is what this is. It teaches you that this is a duplication business and it's a leadership business. So it's about creating consultants. The more consultants you can create, which means someone you've enrolled has either got healthy with 2 friends or shared it with 2 friends, enrolled 2 friends, whatever language you want to use. So the more consultants that you can make, the more you've duplicated yourself. It's not about selling shakes. I mean, yeah, the shakes happen to be amazing, but this is a duplication business. So this is what this leader in action is actually rewarding us for the behaviors, the business behaviors that actually help us to be successful. Okay, so consultant, manager, director, executive. So that's the points we get for personally rank advancing people. And what do active weeks points mean? What are they all about? Anybody, it's right here.
It means based on the level you're currently being paid as,
Yep.
that's points. So you may be an executive, but you've fallen out of executive and you may be being paid as either a manager or director. So then you would achieve points based on what you're paid as.
Yeah, so it's your active rank, what you're paid as for that particular week, right? So I know I have been paid as executive, and that's my intention to never, ever, 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 ever not be there again, like Caroline has done. And so I'm just going to guarantee myself each month, that's a 4-week month, I get 16 points. Okay, so for you guys, make a decision. You know, if you're consultant now, get to manager and then stay there. So at least you got a point here. We need to have a point in every category in order to kind of, you know, be in the running for leader in action. Okay, so you want to get yourself to manager. That's when where all the fun begins too, is when you start to get to play in various pools and, you know, get other bonuses and things like that, and have a team, right? So that's when you've got other people that you're working with and inspiring. So the other thing that I think is important to know, well, first of all, here's the worksheet. All right, so it looks like that. Most people know that, and it's pretty easy. I just, in advance, where's my little sheet here? In advance, and in fact, I've even done next month. I just write the dates for this, what do we call it, Carolyn? Our
Your week ending date? Is that what
yeah, our week ending date, but it's not like a calendar month from October 1 to October 31st. It is our Isagenix month, we'll call it. And that is in a chart that we can actually look up, and you should have that printed out and on your desktop. And that is actually right here. So what is the commission? That's what it's called, the commission month. What is the commission month schedule? That's what it looks like. Okay, so we know that our commission month schedule just started October 26th, and we're in this to November 22nd. So your weeks should reflect that on your sheet. Does that make sense, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an important thing, because I think a lot of people don't quite don't understand that, and they start just putting the month of November. All right, so do we have any questions about leader in action?
Well, I think you raised a really good point by showing, first of all, where is it? What is it? There's a video there explaining it, and then that whole slew of questions that you were showing us, Anne. And I think that's the first thing is educating yourself about what it is, and then getting to work, right? Because when I look at my leader in action, I'll admit I didn't send mine to Susan because I'm like, oh, there's one column that I've had a 0 in, and that's 2 PET and personal rank advancement, right? So it's like, oh, well, why bother sending it in because I got 0s? Well, Susan has shared with us that she's had some 0s in certain weeks. So it's just the habit of doing it. So Anne, you tell us about, you talked about being organized and IPA. So, okay, we got this leader in action. What's the benefit of leader in action?
Yeah. So especially once you get some traction, right? You start like when you enroll someone, you can put something in there and that's kind of cool, right? And maybe your people, you start to, maybe you're getting to manager. So that means that you have someone else who's enrolled somebody under your 2 PET. Okay. So then you have, you become manager. So what you're going to see here is where you need to be focused with your time. So if you have, let's suppose, 1 hour to give to Isagenix on a day, then that's reasonable. Some people are working. A lot of us, have other jobs and other interests, etc. So if you have 1 hour, pick up this sheet, okay, and decide, where can I get some points today? It's as easy as that, because I think a lot of people, when they have 1 hour, they'll listen to a podcast, they'll go and snoop around their back office, look at reports and think they're spending time on their business. But what this does, it doesn't lie, right? So you can go, most of you, we need to get some 1 PET personal enrollments, okay? So let's, divide that 1 hour into chunks of time where you can perhaps, I like the 3 by 3 by 3. I still teach that to my team, and Susan Sly teaches it for sure. And the 3 by 3 by 3 is,
qualify what that is, Anne?
yeah, I'm just going to.
Oh, sorry.
So the 3 by 3 by 3 is to make 3 new connections, right? People who you haven't reached out to before, and it may or may not lead to a conversation about Isagenix. Some people I might direct ask, or there might be previous customers, and I'll say I'm reaching out to all my previous Isagenix customers. A lot has changed. Are you open to a chat about it? So that's pretty direct ask. Whereas some other people, it might be catching up with an old friend and making a connection, and it may or may not lead to Isagenix. So 3 is 3 new connections. The second 3 is 3 follow-ups. So perhaps someone who I chatted with last week, or they said, can you get back to me or whatever. I'm following up with somebody who perhaps is even thinking about or looking at information and weren't quite ready, or they said, not now, but call me in 2 weeks. A lot of things can qualify as a follow-up. So that's the second. And then the third is, kind of pouring love into 3 people. And that could just mean brightening someone's day with, I've been thinking about you, you're awesome, or, someone's going through a tough time, or perhaps it's coaching somebody on your team, or checking in on one of your personally enrolled and how they're doing on their system, or, supporting somebody to get to their next rank advancement, or just having a chat about casting the vision for somebody on your team, right? So a lot of things can fall into each of those categories. So if you only have your 1 hour, right, then the majority should be around, I think the first one is new connections, because that's the hardest one. The third one's the easiest. The pouring love, that's the easiest one. So, I like to do the first 2 first, and then it's a reward, because we all love to love people up, right? So get your 3 reach outs out, and have a little accountability group with either, I don't know, a triad maybe, or a partner, or a little group of probably no more than kind of 5 people who are committed. And just, you can write what I've done before is I've written N So new, follow up, and love. So we just write N ... and put 3 names. We don't want the story. You know what? Your accountability partner doesn't need the whole story. They need to know Mary, Joseph, and Christina. Okay, so in a little thread, everyone, at the end of the day, just writes their 3 accountabilities. Okay, you get to the end of the day and you haven't done it and you make up names, well, then you're the one who's going to be paying the piper. But it's better off to just say, you know what, I had a busy day, I didn't get to it today, tomorrow I'll do better. All right, and that's okay. Transparency is always groovy. It's always groovy. Okay, so yeah, where was I? How do I use this sheet? I think was Carolyn's question. And I think that focus on where you can get points in that 3 by 3 by 3 is the bottom line, because we need to be doing income producing activities. And frankly, this sheet is the bottom line. One of the things that I have written in my little notes of, I kind of had 10 points, but one of them was know the rules of the Monopoly game. Okay, so I know I was really messy for many years in this business. Not that I'm not now, believe me, I still am. And you always will be, because you always feel, I think Carolyn would agree, and I know Teresa would agree, that you never quite feel you're in control in this business. And if you're somebody who loves to be in control, then just let that go and enjoy not being in control and not like, right? Carolyn can relate. So just kind of enjoy that feeling. And perhaps for a lot of us, it's a lesson that the cream does rise to the top. It really does. And we sometimes we've done all the best we can and someone still falls off or whatever. You know, and you can drive yourself crazy and feel like you have to be working all the time if you need that kind of control. So just kind of enjoy that ride. But what you do need to know, which will help you give you control, actually, is the rules of the Monopoly game. So what do I mean by that? Would you go and play Monopoly without at least understanding the rules? You probably, if you cared to win, you wouldn't win, right? Or you wouldn't play backgammon if you didn't understand the rules. It would just be no fun for everybody. So you would at least have a basic understanding of the rules. So then you can be strategic about how you move your man and how you roll your dice and how you spend your time, right? So the rules of the Monopoly game, this LIA sheet actually is designed to teach us the rules of the Monopoly game. That's the fun part. It's a game, right? And same with like ISA Derby, all those contests, which are going to be more now based on LIA, they were all designed to teach us the rules of the Monopoly game. Okay, so we just plug in and actually learn the rules. And the rules essentially are, you know, what is ACMDE? And Carolyn just went through that. You know, how do you help someone get paid? Understanding like the basics of the comp plan, those kinds of things. How to help someone rake advance, paint the vision, all those basic skills that, you know, today's call is not long enough. And hopefully, you know, we learn over time again and again and again when we plug in long enough and go through these, you know, basic skills. And that's why, you know, don't miss a call, because you pick up one little nugget, it's worthwhile, right? So understand the rules of the Monopoly game and, you know, understand the very, very basics of income producing activities and how the comp plan works. All right, so I hope that answered your question, Carolyn. What I wanted to just talk about very briefly is why paid as executive. Yeah, should I move on to that, or is there something else burning about LIA?
Well, we'll circle back to LIA. So what I want you guys to understand is that Anne, when she first started this, and this is normal for everybody. I don't know if you guys can see my board over there. I've got my executive chart hanging on my whiteboard there. And there's this, you know, we say get to executive, get to executive, get to executive. So we get to executive and then the house starts to crumble. So it's not about just getting to executive, it's getting beyond executive. And how do you know, for you, and how do you keep your, you know, your 5 and 5 or your 6 and
Yeah,
6?
sure.
And so what I also wanted to ask you is, because when you started this, yeah, life gets in the way, things happen, and you had 4 consultants. And now you have how many?
19.
19. Okay. So what happened? You were at 4. Why did you decide to get back to executive? What did you do? And how does that tie back into leader in action?
Well, that's a lot of questions.
Okay, what did you do? First of all,
Yeah.
why did you decide to get back to executive, and what did you do?
Well, my why I kind of touched on, but my why, a big part of it is twofold. Is I've got my youngest son in university, and it's expensive, and I wasn't able to cover the bills.
And you're the
Period.
sole breadwinner.
Sole breadwinner, right? And I mean, I have lots of whys. These are my immediate whys. My mother is in a long-term care facility, end stages Alzheimer's, and she's running out of her funds, and it's very, very expensive. And in the next couple of months, we are all going to have to be kicking in for her care, and it's significant. Like,
So-
my whys are just very tangible and real right now.
Yeah, so you need money.
I need money. Like, it got down to, I need money.
Simple as that. Does anybody
Yeah.
need money on this call? Anybody need money?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's an opportunity. Someone's opened the door. Here's an opportunity for you to generate money. So, Anne, what did you do?
Yeah. So I saw money on the table in 2 ways. One isn't available now, but the other one is that executive reset, or the Crystal executive reset. There was just money on the table to be had, several $1,000s worth, just by reaching those milestones and getting the bonuses along the way again. So I understood the rules of the Monopoly game, and I went for it. And I'll show you, and then I'll come back to what does that mean, because I think that's what Carolyn wants me to get into. But part of understanding the rules of the Monopoly game is, man, executive guys, like, I just want to paint this picture for you. Executive, there is every month, there's an $840 bonus, $840 bonus the second month, and then a 1,111, this is Canadian dollars, by the way, just by maintaining executive status each month. It's gravy, and we have to personally enroll 2 people each month, which most of us are doing. And I love that, because they're now rewarding the executives that are actually in action and doing the do, not just the highest income earners. So I saw that and I went, holy crap, like, this is really good money. On top of that, like, every other day, I get this little email that says, oh, congratulations, you have a customer referral enrollment from the company. So what that means is people who go online and don't have anybody that they're connected to, and they just order on the website, they either place a retail order, or they sign up, or they inquire about information. So I could get any one of those 3 kind of referrals. So most of the time, you get their contact information. Some people opt out, but you still get the BV for their order. And 2, and hopefully 3 soon, of those people, I painted the vision and created consultants from them, right? Because I reached out, I made a nice connection on the phone. Thankfully, trying to think if 2 or one of them was returning to Isagenix. I'm just looking at my little board. See, I have this board, like, I'm a whiteboard person.
Yeah.
And one of them was returning to Isagenix, and she loved it. And she's just this entrepreneurial rock star. So it was not difficult. And we just kind of hit it off like a house on fire. So she's now a consultant, anyway, I won't share all those stories, but those are added income as well, right? And helped me to get to paid as executive. So it wasn't just the executive lifestyle bonus, and it wasn't just the 10% that you also get. You get what's called a 10% executive match, which means that of all your personally enrolled cycles, you get an additional 10% on top of that, right? So if you have 10 people, let's say cycling 10 times each, that's 100 cycles, then I'll get 10% of that. So I'll get an additional, how many dollars? 10 times 60, $600, right?
All
Just
kinds of perks, all kinds of perks.
All kinds of perks, right? So that's just an example. So executive, like they say, executive is where the compensation plan begins. And I really would agree that it does. Okay, so
I'm just going to jump in here because I'm looking at the time. And
yeah,
I'm-
that's fine.
I
That
want
would
to
be
pull some
helpful.
nuggets out of you. So you went from 4 to 18. What did you say to people? Who did you call? What did you say to them? Because one of the challenges that people are having is, well, nobody wants to share this with anybody. So how did you create all these
Right.
consultants?
Okay, so the first thing I did is I wrote everybody's name down on my board. Okay, and I it's under a title called Next Consultants. All right, so it's not rocket science. I didn't leave it to chance of Penny, or Penny's not going to tell me who my next consultants are. Maybe she will one day, but she doesn't do that right now. So I wrote a list, and frankly, I just want to share with you, I didn't have my whiteboard on this island. I had to rip up a cardboard box and tape it to the wall with like painter's tape. And my partner was just so wonderful about it, and it kept falling down. And anyway, it was pretty makeshift little office. So I would say, and I heard this, I think it was Christy Nix who kind of trained on her different consultants that she has. And I think this is real and true for me too. I have some people who I've helped to paint the vision on, they have zero interest in the business, but I've said, you know what, you're ordering like 400 BV per month for your family. Can I show you how to be strategic with your orders so that you actually get paid a little bit? You can enroll your husband, you can enroll your son or whatever, and spread out your orders to 3 spots. Okay, everyone's a win-win. And they go, because I have the trust with them, then they say yes. If you don't have the trust with your people, then they're not going to listen to your input. So the trust, I believe, with my people is high, and they go, oh, can I be strategic? And I think the wording, be strategic with the orders you're already placing. Okay. And I message them a quick message. If people are overwhelmed, they also won't listen to you. So that would be category number 1, would be the people who, just want to be strategic with their orders, and they might not always stay paid as consultant because they teach them, keep the main spot, but maybe if you don't need that much product next month, then push the other 2 out and then pop back. So those people might pop back, but I've taught them, right? And I've taught them how to be strategic with their orders. They're not ordering just for the sake of getting paid. They're literally ordering what they want. Okay. And that would be a few, not a lot, but a few of my people. Then I have, I would say, a category number 2 that are, kind of casual sharers.
And
yeah.
excuse me, it's Pat. I just quickly want to understand, what do you mean when you said they pop back, they pop out, pop back?
Okay. So what does paid as consultant mean?
One on the left, one on the right, 100 BV.
Yeah. So if someone's a consultant but not paid as, what does that mean?
Associate.
No, they're still, once a consultant, you're always a consultant, but you're not always
But they need to
paid
be
as.
paid as, right?
Yeah. So let's suppose, Pat, you give me 2 names, Fred and Mary. I'm going to make them up for sake of time here.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you enroll Fred and Mary, okay, and that's all you enroll, okay? And they're happily ordering for a couple months, And then the third month, Fred decides he doesn't need anything. His kitchen is stocked. So he pushes his auto ship out and he misses that month. Are you
That's
paid
popping
as
out. That's what you
consultant?
said? No.
Yeah, no. So you're still a consultant, but you're
Yeah.
not paid as. But then we get to the next month and Fred orders again. Are
Right.
you
He's-
paid as consultant again?
So you're saying he's popping back in. That's your terminology there.
Well, you're popping back up as a paid
Okay.
as consultant. So as far as me being executive,
Yeah.
some of my people fall off paid as consultant. So I might have 18 instead of 19,
Gotcha.
right? So part of
Yep.
me managing my business is also knowing where they're at and who might be falling in and out. And that's
Gotcha.
what Carolyn's saying, that, it's not just get to executive and it's all taken you do. We're managing our business, right? So that's, I would say, my second category was the casual sharers. And again, it's painting the vision for people. And I have a version of what Susan Sly says. Does anyone know Susan Sly's kind of magic question?
Well, why don't you share yours with us?
All right. So Susan Sly's, magic question is actually, I won't share hers. I'll just share mine. So because mine, I've been doing it for years. And it's basically, I realized, it's basically the same as Susan's, but it's just a little bit different. So, but it gets the same message across. So, and I actually did this today with somebody who is a yoga teacher. I reached out to her last week and she said, yeah, I'd love to return to Isagenix. She was with me several years ago and she fell off, and she goes, yeah, the timings are really great. So I said, I went over her back office and her, goals and everything. And then I said, I have A players, B players, and C players. And just so you know, and I always start with C players. And I say C players order if and when they want. And when people ask them why they're looking so great, then I'd be happy to take your referrals. And then I've got lots of people, and this is language, right? I got, a lot of people love to be B players. And B players just do enough to get their products paid for. People are asking them, and I can show you, how you can start to get your products paid for, maybe that mortgage or payment or a car payment or whatever. Okay, that would be a B player. And I say, I got, again, lots of people love to be B players. And depending on who I'm talking to, I might say, it doesn't mean you're launching this big business and being a commitment. Like, that's what people are afraid of. And then I say, and then I've got, this really wonderful team of A players, and we support each other to the life of our dreams and create a residual income. And, some people are doing this very part-time in the background of other jobs, and other people are full on, and Isagenix is their main gig. So again, I'm clarifying that an A player doesn't mean they're quitting their day job. An A player just means they're building with intention, right? So that's my version of, Susan's kind of magic question of where do you see yourself? So then I said to her today, where do you see yourself? A player, B player, C player? And again, there's a certain kind of like those reds are going to go, I am an A player, right? Like I'm up. That's where I do say, just like everything else in life, my A players are like, they're the 3 to 5%ers, right? So you can drop little hints like, yeah. So she said, you know what? I actually would be open to being a B player. And I kind of went, woohoo, like success. Cause I actually know she could be an A player. Like she gets it. She's coming back. She loves the product. She misses it. She's actually, really busy. I could just read between the lines. So the fact that she said her doors open a crack. So then, what I say, okay, what I'm hearing from you, and reflect it back, what I'm hearing from you is your door is open a crack, right? If your door is open a crack, number one, keep your BV at 100 per month because you bank the volume of the whole team. My team's on fire right now. You don't want to miss that. Okay, that's easy. And then most people go, okay, I can do that, right? And I say, and who do you know? This is Lynn Hagedorn. Who do you know who will get healthy with you? Because you're creating your product story, but you're also creating your business story in the first month. So I'd love to help you. Who do you know who can get healthy with you? And, this leads right back into Kathy Coover's 5-name quick start, which I need to be better, honestly, at getting people's 5 names and following up. But I am, I think, good at painting the vision with people and going over the ACMDE and showing people how to get paid. I mean, Carolyn, it's a longer answer, but I would say that if someone's all ears, then I would say, can I show you, how to earn $1,000 with Isagenix? And if I could, what would you do with it? Right. And, we didn't have time today, but I would, really dig into what $1,000 would mean to them, because that seems to be this nice little number that would make a difference to people's month, whether it's savings or, that's the amount that a little bit more that I'd be putting towards. Yeah, Carolyn's got that written out. So, and I would go through, well, give me 2 names, and go through that whole explanation on how you can earn $1,000 in Isagenix after I have made it relevant to their life. Because when you ask them what they're going to do, and then I go, well, do you want to know? And they were like, yeah, I really want to know. But they didn't want to know a minute ago because it wasn't relevant to them. So it's painting that vision. So then, you get off the phone, they're giving you names, and they're, you know what? I'm going to actually ask my friend, because I think she would be really interested. I know she mentioned it, and I sent her to isagenix.com to Google it. We go, no, we don't want to do that anymore. We want to have them come back to you. So painting the vision, going through the rules of the Monopoly game with them, like explaining the you share, they share, and how to earn $1,000 and making it relevant. So I am going through that. But, Carolyn, I think with each conversation I have, it's different, because you have to test the waters to see how open people are. And if people are open, the trust is high, and they're looking for something. And I have people who've been watching me for years now and go, okay, I'm ready now. And people during COVID are now starting to be more open and ready. And if you follow my Facebook feed, I don't post a lot about Isagenix, but what I do post is that every now and again, I will post, people are watching how I'm doing. And, if I'll post something about home-based business, I'll post, I'm really honored to be in the top 10 leader in action this month. And then people are going, oh, you know what? She's still doing it. Cool. I know who to call. They're going to think of you. Right. So even if you're not there, there's ways that you can celebrate each other's success and post it so that you're building your followers' belief in what we're up to as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think that there's no magic here. You made your list, and I think you said you called 100. Was it you said you called 100 people in one day?
Oh, no. This isn't, I basically was on 3 to 5 Zoom calls per day, which is a lot, and in between then I'm setting up appointments, right?
So it's, you talked about being organized, your IPAs. So guys, again, this is about wanting it. Like, some of you have been here forever, like me, Malcolm, Christina, Gwen, we've been here, Teresa, we've been here forever, right? Why are we still doing this? People say to me, and people say to me, Carolyn, when are you going to retire? I go, to do what? Right? People who are retired want to have purpose and meaning in their life. And that's what this provides. Purpose, meaning, community, and like you say, how do you feel when you enroll somebody? So, I mean, I'm taking notes because you know what? I only retain 10% of what I hear. So when you guys are taking notes, this is what people say to me. Oh, I got lots of notes. Great. So in the side column of my note taking this is what I'm going to take action on. And so from what Anne said is she paints the vision with everybody she talks to. I love the simplicity of your language, the A, B, or C player. I have a different way of sharing it, but I like this version. So I'm going to try all that. There's nothing wrong with changing things up. And I absolutely love because one of the things people say to me is, how do you get people to consultant? Are you telling them about the money? Or are you just shy and just stop selling shakes? And just like you, had a gal who came on who wanted one shake, and we took her to her pack, and now she's looking at the business and learning, you know, the LinkedIn platform. So it's finding out from people, what do they want? But I love what you said. You know, you ask people, who do you know, once they qualify themselves as an A or a B player, and can I show you how to earn $1,000? I don't put it quite succinctly. I can't even say that word. Well, I just draw it out, right? And I show people the money, like, show me the money. And because there's all kinds of fancy diagrams out there, I go, here, let me show you on my really fancy stationery, which is a pack of my recycled paper, right? How you can generate some income with the program that you've chosen, right? So I love that, but I like that you take them to that level of, can I show you how to earn $1,000? So I'm not surprised that you have 18 consultants. And just to take the mystery out of this, and you know, just because people are consultants doesn't mean that they're jumping in the business with you.
That's right.
My mom is a consultant, right? She still
Yeah,
has
so that's
to-
why I was saying, Carolyn, I have three kind of categories, and one is that, you know, they're strategic with the orders. I don't think I finished. Two is that they, you know, will do enough to get their products paid for, and, you know, they're kind of open, but they're busy, and you kind of got to babysit them a little bit. And then the first category, like A players of my consultants, I know I don't have to watch them. Like they are showing up on calls, they have made a commitment, and many of them are managers, and or a couple of them have two have reached executive and have kind of fallen off and need to get back there. So yeah, there I don't need to babysit them as far as that goes, but I need to really support them. And this is what my skill set now is, how to be a leader of leaders, right? And Eric Warre, I don't have my notes easily accessible because we're going to end this call pretty soon, but I just learned so much when I listened to a recent call for six-figure income earners and more. I don't know if any, Carolyn, if you were on that call, or Teresa. He says the first 100,000 is all about, you know, doing the do, and it's work, right? Like it's not, I mean, it's joyful work, but it's, you know, you feel like you don't have the time freedom yet. And then he said, you know, from 100,000 to 300,000, it is about duplication and leadership and systems and, you know, being a leader. And then he went on to do what is 300,000 to, you know, $1 million, and he broke it down into 4, and then the crazy, you know, ridiculous money. And I learned a lot because you have to have a shift in your mindset, and you guys are, most of us, or you are in this first, you know, feeling like you don't have the time freedom, right? And then some of us are switching now. We're switching to this, okay, duplication, leadership, getting better at systems. So this is what I know my work is to learn how to be that better leader and plug people into systems so I can be duplicatable, right? Like I can get to executive, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, yes, this is where the comp plan starts, but if I really want to go to that 100 to 300,000, I need to know how to help others get to executive and do what I'm doing, which is part of, you know, being honored to train on a call like this, because I think I get better and better when I can try to explain it to other people and not just do it.
Exactly. I love that, Anne, and thank you so much for that. Now, in the chat, I mean, I think people are understanding the use of penny. Pat was saying here that she didn't realize for the longest time that the executive lifestyle bonus, that $11,000,
Yeah, it's $11,000, guys.
yeah, it's above and beyond what you earn as, you know, in cycling bonus. And the simplicity of the language, guys, and you know, I posted the other day, it takes courage to show up and be who you were, you know, put on this planet to be, right? and everyone's a critic, and they are coming to pay your bills, right? So, I mean, I play in a sandbox. I'm not in Florida. I'm not there now, but these are all really wealthy women, but they're not necessarily happy. You know, they're overweight. They're drinking too much. They're, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
We're
And
looking for what we've got, guys.
yeah,
And
purpose. People
yeah,
are looking for purpose. So I think being bold and reaching out to people in this time particular, where a lot of people are isolated, you're inviting them into a community. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm sharing with people. Come and be part of our community. Anne and I are not financially linked. We're sort of like cousins. Anne's like on one side and I'm on the other, right? But we get to work together. So who has a question for Anne, you guys? Because I know, you know, I have to go and listen to that leadership and action call a few times. I listened to Anne's call that Susan's a master interviewer with Anne and Jessica. So I listened to that a few times and got some tips. So anybody have any questions for Anne?
Hello, Mexico sister. Oh my
Hey,
gosh. I certainly miss that time.
I know.
Really nice. I love the way you, I wrote them down, the A, B, and C players. I've used Susan's magic question, 3-part question many, many times. And I find that it's either my delivery or it's just the fact that a lot of people sort of, you know, have a lot of emotional baggage around money. And so as soon as I start, you know, what's a bill that you want covered, you know, or you'd love for Isagenix to pay or that sort of thing, they don't, I don't get the traction I would like to get, because of course when we role play it and hear it in a learning, everybody jumps in and gives you a definite answer. And I find that I'm not getting clear answers. So I'm going to give this a shot because I love the way you positioned it as, you know, I have A, B, and C players. And
Yeah.
you know, I'd like
And it's
to
the
know
same thing as
where
Susan
you'd like
saying,
to
it's
play.
just
Which
slightly
group would you like to play in? Group C? And I like how you're starting from the bottom, but ending on the high note. So I really like that. But my question, I guess, is at what stage do you pose that to them? Is that after enrollment? Is that after they've been on the product a few days and are starting to feel it? I mean, when do you shoot this out to them?
Okay, so it depends, but I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, I just want to get people enrolled, right? I know that I can work with them afterwards, right? So I want to get them enrolled. I don't want to overwhelm them with too much, you know, but I'm going to be planting seeds, maybe in my sharing little bits of my story, you know, and oh, my team, we have a team call to, you know, I might be just planting seeds, but I'm not really inviting them yet. But when I do, when I really kind of go into educating people is when I go over their back office. Okay, when I help their login. Okay, which may or may not be the same call as the box opening. It depends on who they are. So I always like them to give me at least half an hour of their time, and can you be in front of your computer? And ideally now with Zoom, what I have them do is I have them screen share so that I can actually see them poking around their office and point them. So, and now we have that extra step where we have to convert people to an associate, right? So I go through how to order, and then what I do is I actually jump to the 4th column, which is promotions. Okay, and I explain the IsaBody challenge. That's easy. You've probably already gone over it, but there's the next box, which is the customer referral bonus or whatever they call. I can't remember. It's if someone is a preferred customer and they sign someone up, they get coupons, right? So I go, oh, and I want to explain this to you because you don't want this, but I want you to understand what it is because it's sitting here glaring us in the face kind of thing. So I just say, you know, this doesn't apply to you because, you know, if someone was asking you about Isagenix, then we would want you to earn money and not coupons. And by the way, I have A players, B players, C players. C players, you know, just order if and when they want, and they stay as a preferred customer, which is what you are in this back office, and they refer to me. And then I have B players, and we would convert you to an associate. It's $29 to open up, you know, an amazing business center. What's the cheapest business center going? And, you know, we can help you get your product paid for. We can help you to, you know, pay a bill or two, you know, and I can support you and show you how that all unfolds. And we have A players too, you know, you heard me kind of go into it, but I do it then because
Okay.
it's a natural flow while you're in the back office. I don't go and explain to them, there's nothing under the resources section. I say, you can go back here on your own and snoop around. And I say, by the way, the My Customer section, when you not if you, when you click the box, become an associate, that becomes my team. Okay. And let's suppose I did this conversation with them 2 weeks, which might be, sometimes we don't connect that ideal 5-day, 2 weeks. I mean, my team is enrolling quite a bit. So I would say that in 2 weeks, they're going to have at least 1 or 2 or 3 people. And I go, you can't see this yet. I'm so sorry. You know, like I don't say it like that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to make them kind of want to see it. But I can see it in my back office that you actually have some volume sitting there. And I might tell them how much it is if it's significant. And I've had people have like 10 people below them by the time I do this. And they go, what? I got 10 people? And I go, yeah. So keep your BV at 100, and you know, let me explain to you the kind of the rules of the Monopoly game, because you have to be able to explain to them why they don't want to tick the box right away, because the time sensitive bonus, right? There's a time sensitive bonus, right? When someone clicks the box, for those of you who are new, and becomes an associate, you have 30 days to enroll 2 people to get the Crystal Consultant bonus. So what I usually say is, you know, there's no urgency for you to do it today, but when you have some people to get healthy with, we'll do it then, because then we'll make sure you get that Crystal Consultant bonus. It's always $50 or $55 Canadian, but it'll double to 110. So, you know,
Yeah,
that's good.
that's huge. Oh my goodness. I
Carolyn,
don't
I
know
can't
who
hear
else.
you.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
We can't hear you.
I can hear you.
But we can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Carolyn?
Hey. Oh, go ahead. It was my earphones, I think.
Oh.
Sorry, apologies.
Okay. I said, you know, sometimes staying on the call, you get a tip. That was huge, Anne, because I take people and I show them, but my back office doesn't look like theirs. So, duh. So that's huge. You have them move the cursor around. So that was, I don't know about you guys, but that was a big tip that I got there. And it's a natural progression in terms of showing people around. And a lot of people don't do that website walkthrough, you guys. So, and we're, you know, a little bit over, but that's okay. Questions are asked. Kirsten said, so when you want people to enroll, or you're painting the picture for people to share this with other people, do you paint the business or the health aspect?
You know, when I want people to enroll initially.
Well, I guess, Kristen, you're saying when you're asking people to share, right? Who are your 2 people? Is that what you mean? Why don't you come out and ask the question?
Yeah. So who's asking the question?
Yeah, here I am. No, it's just when you talk to people, I've talked to 3 people in the last 2 days, and
way to go.
To one I have painted the health, because I knew that was important to her, and to the other one who is in a really bad situation financially, I have shared with her, you know, how she you know, there is a potential, and Pat very kindly said, business in a box here. You should take a serious look at, because there is money to be earned. You know, you won't have residual income straight away. You still have to work, because it is a business as well. But yeah.
Okay, so I think I don't understand your question. By the way, we do have income right away. It's not residual, but we do have bonus income right away. And that's the one of my little pieces of language that I use is, you know, it's really cool. because Isagenix has changed a lot since I started, and new people can get traction really early because the bonuses are so generous. Okay, so that excites people. I go, oh, really? I mean, I don't have to wait for years for, or months or whatever for the team volume to grow. So yeah, we do get paid generously right away. And that's what that you share, they share. Anyway, to answer your question, Kirsten, I think what you already know the answer because you've done a great job of asking good questions, right? And you already know one of your gals was hurting financially. And so it's a matter of really what comes up with the question answering. And if you really can have that good connection and see what comes up, then you're going to offer the solution that we have. We're a solutions-based company. I say this to people. People say, what is Isagenix? A brand new person. We're a solutions-based company. I still like this. This is kind of Isagenix 1.0, but I still like it. We have solutions for what? Weight wellness, weight loss, weight gain, energy, sport performance, natural healthy aging. I always add the natural in there, and wealth creation. Where do you see yourself fitting in? I know for me, I fit into all 5 at different times, and I add that. So where do you see yourself fitting in? And someone might go, oh, wealth creation. Yeah, I'd be open to that. Or they might just say, well, I got a few pounds to lose, or, I need more energy or something like that. So that way you're not necessarily pushing something down someone's throat. We
that's
feel
right.
you're actually having it come from them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we are way past the top of the hour, but that's okay. I just want to say, it's great to just have an informal call and ask some questions and have Anne share her story and how she does it. And I've been here I'm going to be starting my 18th year with Isagenix, and I'm always learning something new. So Anne, thank you for coming and sharing, how you reach out to people and how you paint the picture and how you, consultant is just sharing with 2 people. That's it. That is all we do. Share with 2 people and teach those
over
people.
and over and over again.
Yeah, that's it. So thank you, Anne. I really do appreciate you.
Can I end on one little note here, Carolyn?
Yeah.
That, we started on this note around mindset and recruiting yourself every single day. That my suggestion, and I did this, is I anchored myself on Joanne Mulhall, who many of you know, and we became friends and started to run seminars here. And my belief in this business was not high initially. And find somebody, whether it's Carolyn or, someone who David Wood or whatever, and you think, oh, if they believe that this is a good place to be, then I can do it. So when you're, having those doubting days, and believe me, we all have them. Don't think that Carolyn doesn't and Teresa doesn't and I don't. We have those doubting days. Anchor yourself on somebody that you admire, you resonate with, another leader, and go, you know what, if someone like that is involved in Isagenix, this is a good place to be, and I can do it too. And frankly, you all can do it. It's a matter of growing your skills and yourself to a point where you're just getting more traction more easily. But don't give up. Don't give up.
Awesome. Lots of great comments in the chat, and thank you. You're amazing. You took many notes. Definitely use this. I know David Martin just popped in and out, and he said, thank you, Anne, for the short time I was here. I made some notes, and I need to change up a few things in the way I approach the business. So I'm glad you guys got some nuggets out of this. And that's what this is all about, is just plugging in, plugging in every day to build your belief and to, to build your vision, right? Because I'm like, what is that Anne doing? I'm going to find out what the heck she's doing because I need to do it. So
Thank you, Carolyn. It was really, really fun to be here and see your faces and some familiar faces too.
Well, thank you all for tuning in.
Anne.
And there were a few people that couldn't make it on. I don't know why. They're having trouble. I was trying to text them. So you guys, you'll get the recording and listen to it. And you can fast forward through all the chit chat and the yahoos and get to the nitty gritty that I tried to highlight. So thank you, Anne. And we'll see you on the.
Thank you both.
Bye. Good night.
Thanks,
everybody.
Ed.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.